Hello, hello, hello. Good day to everyone. How's everyone doing? I hope fantastic, amazing, beautiful, fabulous. I hope everything is going super well for you today. I wanted to share this with you. As promised, we are going to have our webinar talking about everything you need to know about divine dating and how to be successful at it. So go ahead and hop on in here, share with a friend, go ahead and press hashtag replay if you catch the replay. However, you get this information, I just hope that it is going to bless you and that it's going to keep you in a state of encouragement and enjoy and in an informative way to continue your dating journey, okay, as a divine dater. So, once again, welcome to the everything you need to know about divine dating and how to be successful at it. All right. So, what I would like to do is let you know there's a special bonus at the end for everyone who wants to stay to the end. You want to know everything for real. You don't want to know just some things, but you want to know everything that there is to know about divine dating because I appreciate you so much for doing that. You could be anywhere today. But because you're here, I want to bless you with the 5 things that keep single forever. I want to provide you with that checklist because it shows you how to avoid those 5 things that singles do that keeps them single forever, right? Like forever. Have you ever seen somebody, met somebody, it's like, man, I just feel like I've been single forever. It just may be one of these 5 things that are prolonging that. And so I want to hand that to you just for hopping on here and spending some time with me today. That's how much I appreciate you. So this cheat sheet, I call it a checklist, but it's really a cheat sheet. Remember in school, you got to write a few notes down, but the amount of notes that you were able to get on a small amount of paper was the only thing your teacher was going to let you use on the test. Well, this is what this will do for you. When you're dating, you can go back to it and check, put all the really good stuff down on it so that you can actually have the tips that are prolonging your season so that you can shorten the single season with God's favor, right? Now, there is no season that will be shorter if God does not say so. But we do know that you can prolong a season further than you should, right? Let's think about the children of Israel. They were supposed to go into the promised land, a journey that takes 11 days. It took 40 years. And you can imagine that story and what they went through and what prolonged the season. So I want you to have that cheat sheet so that you do not prolong your single season, provided God really only has an 11-day journey for you. Okay, so stay to the end and you don't have to worry about taking extensive notes because I can provide the slide to you. I'm actually going to provide more slides that I'm actually going to present today. So staying to the end will get you your bonus. It'll get you this PowerPoint. It will get you all the notes and each slide plus some. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about what we're going to learn today. So we're going to learn about divine dating, right? Divine dating is a topic not too many people know about, but it's not really that unfamiliar. You may have heard of courting before. You may have heard of, like non-traditional dating. Well, divine dating is something that's different because it's going to make sure you're fulfilling your purpose as you date on purpose. Okay, so we're going to learn about that. How fulfilling your purpose will actually bring a gentleman aligned with it. Right? I've heard so many people talk about, I just don't know any good men. I haven't seen them. What's going on? And so we want to first make sure you're fulfilling your purpose, right? And that doesn't mean that you have a good job. That doesn't mean that you're doing good things in the community. All of those things are wonderful, but I'm talking about an internal knowing of why you were placed on this earth and fulfilling that thing, because you can make $1 million and be outside of purpose, but that's a whole nother webinar, right? So we want to make sure you're fulfilling your God-given purpose, I should say. So then after that, how can you be found by the one? Using a multi-connect method. You might know it more so as dating more than one person at a time. And you're like, oh my God, divine daters can date more than one person at a time. Well, guess what? We'll talk about exactly what multi-connected dating means and what that method entails and what it does not, because we are not on here trying to teach anybody how to be a player. That's absolutely the opposite. But you do want to know how you can be found by the one you feel is meant and aligned for you during a multi-connect method, and we'll talk about that. And also how to remain super authentic, true to yourself, very honest about what you want in the process to attract even more suitors. And a lot of people don't even think that's that's possible, but it is. The more authentic and honest you are with yourself, the more you can be with others. And that is attractive because it means you're confident in who you are. So, what I want you to know also is what never to do. Okay? If you really want a divine connection, not just a date, anyone can get a date. Me and my ladies that was on the online mixer that we have last night, we're talking about it. Anybody can get a date. You could literally just walk out and say, hey, will you go out with me? And most likely a gentleman is going to say yes, right? He may not be the one you want, but you can get a date. I'm not here just to make sure you get a date. We want divine connections, that thing that says, hey, that's going to help me continue to do what I'm here to do. You're here to do what you are here to do, and we'll be fulfilled. And knowing that we're glorifying God, we're having a fun, loving relationship, and that is long-term because we built it on a great foundation, right? So there's some counterintuitive approaches you have to do so that you never do the other things like lie and front and put on a face and become what somebody else wants you to be, or to, fall in love really quickly without any wisdom and direction. Okay. So these are things never to do. Do not want a man to fulfill your purpose for you. Okay. Don't want anybody to fulfill your purpose for you. Your mom can't do it. Your boss can't do it. Your child can't do it. You are the called out one for your specific purpose, right? So counterintuitively, you have to say, I know that man makes me feel so good when he wakes me up in the morning. He's like, hello, beautiful. And you're like, oh my gosh, all of that wonderful stuff, right? But you have to be able to say, well, what did God say about me? He called me fearfully and wonderfully made before this man even existed, right? So if he's giving me those wonderful things, then what did he want me to do? Not just this gentleman who's adding to you, but he's not fulfilling you. Does that make any sense? I want you to make sure you be counterintuitive. Receive all that he's going to provide. He's supposed to, and you're supposed to receive it. That's all great. However, sometimes if we're not actually doing what we're called to do, or fulfilling our own purpose, or being, led by God, that person takes God's place. And then we begin to idolize it and their things, their gifts, their words. And we forget we had all of this already on the inside of us, right? So let's work with a counterintuitive thing to say, yeah, I receive that. And I receive it with joy and gratitude. However, these things were written for me, before the foundations of the world. And then another counterintuitive approach is that, so when you do get fulfilled, you're fulfilling your purpose and you meet wonderful men, then you may think that first wonderful man is the end all be all. And sometimes they may be. God doesn't have to share 1,000 men with you for you to actually, know who's the one. However, what I find people do sometimes is, just because they're a great man and they give you attention for a while, you throw all your cards up in the air, game over. This man is it. You get no confirmation from the Lord. You have no clue what he wants to do, with him and you in your life. You did not take time to ask for wisdom and to categorize this thing. You're like, he's cute. He give me attention. Let's go. He's it. And then later on, you realize, dang, I should have took a little bit more time. And if not more time, just a little bit more concern to get the word from God, because you start seeing things later. How many people seeing things later and wished they would have paid attention a little bit more? So we don't want to just be like, just because a man gives us an attention, that means that he's it. You deserve attention. You're an amazing person. So once again, receive it with gratitude, but you want to align this thing with the one who actually created you. So if you're not feeling the spirit tell you he's the one, meaning your spouse, the one you're gonna live long term with and have children, or combine families with, or build a kingdom, all of that, then keep taking in information. That's why the multi-connect method is so important. It's just so important. We'll talk more about that a little bit later on. And the last kind of to the thing, some women feel like you have to put on a show to get the man that you want. Such as, have you ever seen Just Right, the movie? Just Right has a young lady in there. She's the cousin of Queen Latifah, who's the star, right? And she says, girl, you don't show a man who you really are until 5 years until you're married. And though it's laughable, believe it or not, people are being deceived every day. They're showing who they think they should be for the person they want instead of who they really are. So yes, 5 years into the relationship, when you really can't be a front anymore, things begin to tear apart because you never were who you actually portrayed yourself to be. And who wants a lie? So these are counterintuitive approaches to think about right now. If a person can accept you for who you are, then that's enough data to let you know they're probably not the one. And it's okay, because there will be plenty of other ones that will come across your path that will accept you wholeheartedly. So what we're going to learn, this is my promise. I'm going to give you some step-by-step strategies. We talked a little bit about the things that you need to do that may feel counterintuitive to you, but if you want to date successfully, then let's get this done, because nobody has time for unnecessary heartache. Nobody. It just doesn't make any sense to put yourself in harm's way when there's a different, better, and elevated way, right? So on that note, I got some cool gifts too. I already told you, if you stay to the end, what I'm going to give you in the checklist, but I may just have one more thing to add to that list of gifts. So I look forward to connecting with you afterwards. A little bit about me and why am I even remotely qualified to tell you about how to divine date, why I am the divine dating strategist. And I actually have been doing this for a few years now. I started out as the founder of Dreams Global after having such a hard time in my own personal relationship and marriage. It was breaking apart, guys. It was going crazily wrong. And I just got before God. I sat down before him and I told him, listen, if you don't tell me what's wrong, I don't know what else I'm going to do, but I know I'm just going to sit here until you tell me. And as I did, I felt instructed to write down the things that were important to me, which is very interesting because things were going wrong. I thought he was going to say, hey, this is what's wrong about your husband. This is what's wrong about this move. This is what's wrong. But what he began to tell me was what's important to me. And I wrote it all down. And when I did, I looked down at the paper, and literally every word created the acronym DREAMS. And a light bulb went off, like, oh my God, I've been concentrating on everything else that was horrible, everything else that wasn't right. I wasn't concentrating on the things that were actually important to me and the dreams I should have been fulfilling. And when I did, I realized it's time to do that. And my joy began to well back up. My marriage did not change, y'all, but my life did. My life began to go in a different direction and say, well, listen, okay, I don't have to stay out of joy. God provided that for me. I can do the things he put on the inside of me. And really 7 months after that point, I wrote my first book. I started 2 businesses. Then I started helping people publish their books. And now I'm actually helping people to learn how to fulfill their purpose as a date on purpose, as a divine strategist. Why? Because those people who wanted businesses and books, they also wanted a boo. And I didn't think I could help them at first. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, yo, do you know my situation? I can't help you with that. But God reminded me he is love, and I can talk about love all the time because I can talk about him. And he began to download some things into me that I'm sharing with you today. So this is why I am qualified and excited to share how to divinely date, how to fulfill your purpose, how to have fun. And I'm going to be very honest with you. A lot of people may not believe me, but the good guys I didn't even know existed began to show up in my life as I began to just go after my purpose. Now, am I fully there? I'm still going after it. I think I'll go after it until, me and Jesus meet in heaven. However, men I didn't even know existed start coming into my life, like millionaires, guys who are attractive, educated, got money, love the Lord, all of that. And when I began to date them, I would learn more about myself to be like, oh, these are the things in me that I might need to shake up a little bit and change. And I could remain friends with them if I felt like it wasn't a line for marriage, but it might have been business, it might have been friendship, it might have been ministry, it could have been just a cool, connection for the future, right? So that is why I'm here to talk to you about it. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just hop on off of here and I'm going to, just get real about the things that I shared with you earlier, right? I'm just gonna get super real about the things that are a part of divine dating that's fulfilling your purpose. I want to go a little bit deep into the idea that fulfilling a purpose means the amount of money you make, the place you live, the things that you obtain, the things that you own. All of those are byproducts. It says, if you seek the kingdom, He's going to add these things unto you. So yes, if you have these things, these are definitely blessings of God. But it does not mean you're fulfilling your purpose. It does not mean that you're doing what you've been called to do. And I don't want anybody to be confused about that, such as Yolanda Adams. Everybody knows Yolanda. Well, many people know Yolanda Adams, right? Yolanda Adams used to be a teacher. She actually taught in elementary school and young children, and she would sing to them. I'm sure she was a great teacher. I don't know about her lesson planning style and all of that, but there was something more on the inside of her that said, I want to go out. And if you do know her, you'll know that her songs have ministered to millions of people because she was doing what was noble and what was good and what was purposeful at the time as in teaching children, because that's an amazing career. It's actually my vocation. So, but there was something else on the inside of her that more people could be blessed by and keep her in line with the purpose, right? So I don't want you to think, hey, well, yeah, I'm an engineer, you know what I mean? I'm making, mid six figures, got my bills paid, I'm good. That means I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And it may. I'm not saying it doesn't, but I'm not saying it absolutely does either. I want you to be very aware that your purpose is something that you feel internally. When you're living life and you feel there's got to be more, it's got to be more to this. You're absolutely right. That feeling, that thought process is indicating that maybe there's still parts of your purpose that are being untouched, such as, I was going through life, living day to day. I was working, doing something good, working with the kids, people graduating, all of that wonderful stuff, was married. So you would think it was good, but the truth is on the inside, I knew there was more. And I was not satisfied, not because I was ungrateful, but because I was not doing what I was called to do. And that is to encourage people, that is to empower them, that is to help them see their own dreams and to give them permission to do it by doing my own. Yeah. And literally, it is a fulfilling thing to see somebody say, you know what, I have been sitting on this dream. And if I could just put my hand to the plow and move it, if I could get that help, it'll get done. And then to see it done and see the elation on their hearts, and then they're ready to do the next one. Okay, so then my next thing I'm going to do is this. It's just a beautiful cycle that could go on. So I want you to begin to talk to yourself, think to yourself, begin to go with God and say, what is it that is important to me? If nothing else worked in my life, what things are super important to me that I prioritize, that I feel like I do for free if I had to. And that's a whole other discussion, whether you should or should not. That's not why I'm here. I want you to get to the place where you do it. And so that's the very first thing. And you're like, well, I thought we were talking about divine dating. Why are we talking about fulfilling dreams and vocations and occupations and businesses? Well, this is what I know. The next thing, when you're really fulfilled and you got that connection with God going on, whether you knew it was a connection with God, but when you're doing that thing he's called you to do, there's a natural infilling of joy. It just is. It's just a natural thing that makes you feel satisfied when you wake up in the morning, when you do that thing. And so if you have that infilling of joy already, if you have like a real contentment, you're not thirsty for anyone to complete you. You're not scraping at the bits for the next bit of attention or the next person to fulfill you. It will be an addition. It'll be something that you want God to glorify and align versus I just need somebody. I'm so lonely. I'm so um discontented. No, you don't have time to be discontented when you're fulfilling your purpose. There is a light and there is a shine, there's a glow that comes to you naturally when you do it. Have you ever been in a situation where somebody said, "Hey, let's do a charity event," right? Maybe you gave out turkeys for Thanksgiving, maybe you fed someone at the homeless shelter, maybe you built a house on Habitat for Humanity, maybe you just watched somebody's child who needed some time off. And when you finished, you felt fulfilled because you know you helped them. It's nothing you made yourself feel. It came very, very naturally. Well, that's what I mean. If you're fulfilling the thing you're called here to do, you're going to have a natural happiness, joy, elation, and that shows forth. So when a gentleman walks by who actually has the qualities and the characteristics that you're actually looking for, he's going to notice, wow, that woman's full of joy. I wonder why. There is a glow, there's a shine about her that's a little bit different than most. That's just like, I'm just running the mill, I'm just paying my bills, I'm just doing this, I got to get this done, da, 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 da. And I mean, that is an American type deal. If you're watching this from another country, maybe y'all have the same thing, but I know that we're known for the hustle and bustle and the grind. Grace and ease is something we have to be taught and to practice, right? But when you are there, it is very noticeable that you are full of joy, and that is attractive. Who wants to be around the one who's frowning or the one that's happy? So you want to think about that. That's why divine dating is a part of fulfilling your purpose, because it provides that natural joy and fulfillment that you do not have to compromise in having someone else take that place and ultimately let you down, because that's not their purpose. The purpose is to add to you. Your purpose is to be, y'all become one at the time you're supposed to do what God's called you to do, right? So the next thing, which is what people think is super fun, is the multi-dating. So let's talk about it. I am not afraid. To tackle this topic because it's definitely one for debate, right? Should you date more than one person at a time? How can you concentrate on, multiple people? Is it fair? The whole nine. Well, I want to talk to my ladies who are shoppers. And believe it or not, I'm not really a shopper. I do buy things every now and again, especially if there's an event, then I start to go into seek mode, right? But naturally, I'm not. But there are people out there that's like, hey, Saturday is shopping day, so we're going shopping. And shopping doesn't mean walking into one store and knowing exactly what you want, picking it up, leaving, going home. That's just going to pick up something. Shopping means we're going to go to the mall, we're going to go to the outlets, we're going into every store to see who's got the best deals, what's cute, what's new, what's on the new rack, what's on the clearance rack. And then based off of what you see, what you know, what you get, that's how you purchase. Well, in a multi-dating method, you combine the two. You combine the fact that you know what you want, you know where you can get it, or at least a vicinity of where you can find it. However, you still open your horizons to say, hey, I see it here. Got the Levi's, which is dating me, I'm sure. Got the Levi's here. I just needed some jeans. But you would say, but you know what? Gap might have a sale too. Okay. They fit just as nice. These $39.99. They got a fall sale, 20% off. I get the same jeans or very similar for 20 or whatever, right? So if you came out, you'd probably be happier to know that you got what you were looking for. You took due diligence, though, right? And and finding the sale and coming out saving money and doing whatever else with it. So that's what a multi-dating method is. It is not about not knowing and just going to the mall saying, hey, whatever I find, I just find. No, that's not what we want. Since you got to know what you want, you got to know what you provide too. And that's another topic. But when you do, you're okay with a Saturday shopping day, right? You're okay with it. Even I'm talking about it because it's not me. I do it every now and again. So I do get it. For those you're like, no, I don't care if I spend $40 when I can get it for 20. I just want it. I want to get out, the hustle and bustle, the people around, that's just too much. And that's fine, because if that fulfills you and you get what you want and you're content with it, you still win, right? But there's a lot of people that will find out later there was a fall sale and will be mad. They'll be like, what? Why didn't I know it? I could have saved money. I could have got a better deal. I guess that's what it boils down to. So that's the multi-dating thing. It looks like this in a dating world. You meet a gentleman on Monday, and he's super, super kind. And, you're getting to know him, and you're doing the normal small talk. Maybe you go deeper. Maybe the conversation is amazing. And then maybe by Wednesday, another gentleman approaches you and you say, oh my gosh, you're awesome. But gosh, you're so fun. The other guy was kind. This was kind and fun. And so now you get to begin to shop, for lack of better terms, to say, which one is more aligned to me? Because once again, we're not just talking about dating to have a date. That's not too hard. And if you do have a problem with just getting any type of date, just anybody, please talk to me, because that part should be easy. It really should. Men want women like yesterday, right? So that should not be the issue. But making sure you're aligned with the person that's going to actually be in your tomorrows in a fulfilling, lasting, satisfying way is what we're going for. So is it wrong to say Monday's gentleman who's kind versus Wednesday's gentleman who's kind and fun? If this one aligns with me more, is that unfair? Or is it wise to take that time to say, okay, so that I don't actually end up in a marriage or in a long-term relationship and then find out later, dang, I wanted fun too. I always say you have to do the work in a relationship. And I can say that because I know the work that was not done with me, where I messed up, what I didn't do wrong. I can't talk about the other person. That's between him and God, right? That's the work they have to do. But with me, if I know there's got to be work done, I'd rather do the work early and before there's detriment than to do it as a reactive thing and I'm trying to repair, right? So that's why it's multi-dating. Now, when do you get to a place where you begin to make them exclusive? Okay, so now you got Monday's guy, you got Wednesday's guy. Let's say if you meet somebody on Friday, they're kind, they're fun, and they have like this spiritual backing that you really want. You're cooking with grease now. Does that mean you diss Monday's guy and Wednesday's guy, like, y'all suck, peace out, I ghost you? No, it means, okay, so why were they introduced into my life? Was it to help me make this decision? Was it because they actually need a friend such as me? Is it that there's a business connection that was supposed to happen, or a ministry connection? Maybe there's like a charity that both of y'all are interested in. Now y'all get to like be meetings of the minds to get some stuff together. There's always a purpose, always a purpose to what's going on. It could be, now if you're meeting jerks, I'm not saying keep them around. That's a no. Okay, it's okay to say no. It's a whole sentence. You're a jerk. You may don't even have to call them that, but understand it, move on. That's how you collect your data. But I'm talking about you find great guy after great guy after great guy. How do you then begin to say, okay, this is the one I'm going to concentrate on? Once again, this is divine dating. You begin to get a knowing on the inside that says, I think I can settle here. I think this is the one that I can give the majority of my attention to. outside of my own purpose, outside of my relationship with God, how I serve, his kingdom and things like this. So, if you would just think about that, okay? Will you be honest with that person that you have a Wednesday guy and a Monday guy that you just met? Absolutely. Because you have to be authentic. You have to be absolutely real with the idea. Here's the difference. A player will act like you're their only one when you're number 2, 3, or 4. A divine dater will say, you know what? Well, I'm in the dating process right now. So I'm kind of meeting people, kind of deciding who's going to be most aligned for me because I really want a true, fulfilling, long-lasting relationship. So I'm just taking my time, kind of to see what's going on. And anybody that's intimidated or afraid of that will give you the data that most likely they're not the one, not because they're bad. That's just not their thing. They're like, look, you either concentrate on me or you don't. And that is their prerogative. But that should not speed you up once again to lose your authenticity and say, oh, well, I guess I will just concentrate on you because I don't want to lose you. It's okay to lose, especially in the beginning, right? That's where you want to make the choice to move on, not after the I do, not after the minister and your friends and your families have been there. Do it now. Don't do it just so you can avoid pain. Do it because you're using wisdom, God's instruction, and that peace, that part of you that knows, right? So that's your multi-dating method. You're always going to be honest, but you're always going to be open until you get that true sense and feeling that I can settle here for some time. And that's when you get to know that person deeper and deeper and deeper. And then y'all can make decisions together as you pray and ask for alignment. Yes. Okay. So now the last thing that I want to share with you that I promised I'd share with you is the being super authentic. And I touched on it a little bit in this last one, but I can't leave without letting you know that don't lie to yourself or to others. I'll share a situation about myself. I met a gentleman, amazing, like so super intelligent, it was shocking, right? Now I love intelligence. It's pretty cool to me. So we were chatting just for a few days, not even that long, and I'm like, man, he's so intelligent, that's so attractive, and blah blah blah, right? Well, let's go back to the scenario. In the process of just living, another gentleman approached me, and this one was just as intelligent, except he had a few more qualities that I didn't know I was looking for to come to the surface. And I'm like, wow, that's, first of all, I'm just fortunate. And I told you how this happens because I'm choosing to live out my purpose. I'm choosing to go after what I feel is on the inside. If it's right, wrong, or indifferent, I'm not going to sit on it. That fulfills me. It brings joy and a glow around me. And then great men show up. That's what I want for all of us, right? So I meet the second guy and I'm like, man, he's got a little bit more qualities, right? So the first intelligent gentleman says, I want to take you out and, how about this weekend? But I met the second guy during the week with a little bit of prayer and a few things that happened, like reading some devotionals and things. I had to be honest with the first guy and say, listen, I think you're amazing. Like, hands down. You are like one of the most intelligent people I know. I want to let you know, however, that if we go out on this date, it's going to be to get to know each other. But like I shared with you in the beginning, I'm in the process of dating so I can find long term. And so there is someone that I met also that I will be considering. Some people right now like, girl, you silly. Why didn't you just go out? And as I'm thinking, I'm like, yeah. But the reason why I'm honest is because I would want the same in return. I know that many of you do not know, but God sometimes don't think we can handle the truth. They don't want us to get emotional or afraid or like crazy if they tell us something that we don't want to hear. When in essence, all we really want is the truth. If you're not feeling me, just tell me. Don't string me along. If you don't see a future, tell me early. Set me free so that I can get with the one that does see that future, right? So, because that's what I want for myself, I give it to others. So, in this instance, it could have been like that guy was like, look, well, if you don't go out with him, what you talking to me for? And I totally was expecting that. But this is what he said. He said, listen, this is what we're going to do. I still want to get to know you. It's only been a few days, so it's not like, we have a long-standing relationship anyway. I'm going to allow you to get to know whoever you want. And if I happen to be the gentleman, that fits your fancy or whatever, you let me know. I'm going to give you the space to do that. But I want you to know I'm interested. Do you know how much of a burden was lifted? Because I was honest. I still kept a friend. I don't know what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? There's not a like a formula that always equals A plus B equals C, A squared plus B squared equals C squared, like we do in math. It's not a formula like that, but it's a principle that says he does not have to disrespect me. He does not have to lose respect for me. He doesn't have to lose admiration. As I'm honest, he just gets to know and have the option to say, okay, that's fine. I'm confident in myself. I don't think anybody else will be better than me. You take the space to do what you have to do. You let me know what that is. We move on from there. Yeah? And if nothing ever comes, we both have high levels of respect for one another. And if anything comes down the line, any one of us need anything, we have great blood. Nothing that said, oh, you supposed to go out with me, but I see you at a restaurant with another dude. Oh, that's what you're going to do? You know what I'm saying? Like some like, I'm going to just hide it. I'm going to just go out the other person or whatever and hope they don't find out. And then you're on social media and you say, hey, Saturday, you said you weren't free, but I see you out. It happens all the time. So I wanted to give you these things because what does it do? Fulfilling your purpose fills you with joy and a natural sense and glow that really attracts great people into your life. And it's no joke because what you sow, you reap. If you sow what you're supposed to do, you're going to get what you're supposed to get, right? So it's not even rocket science. Next, there's a multi-connect method that happens where you're not a player at all, but you take your time so that you can make wise decisions. If you're in my cohort, you know what I say. Dating is about collecting data, getting all the information that you need so that you can make a wise decision in a spouse in a long-term relationship, right? Why not? If you are only going by the way you feel, if you're only going by your chemistry, if you're only going by the fact that they find and they make you feel some type of way, I promise you it will not last, right? You have to have some type of substance. It has to be a different type of connection, a divine connection that actually elongates that thing, okay? There's going to be plenty of fine people. Plenty of people that's going to make you feel a type of way. You know what I'm saying? Plenty of people that can wine and dine you, but not so many that will align with you, understand you, be willing to go deeper in understanding you while they're fine and paid and educated and all that good stuff, right? And lastly, you have to stay super authentic. You just have to. It's hard. When I'm talking to the guy, I have to be very, very aware. I may just lose a friend. I may lose somebody when most people be like, okay, this is how I keep both. That is not multi-dating. That's deception. I'm talking about living in integrity and doing what's important. Now, if they had not both asked me out at the same time, and if I had not taken the time to say, okay, this one's like super intelligent. This one's super intelligent with X, Y, and Z. Let me see what's going on. And some might wonder, well, why didn't you just keep the commitment? Because I was talking to a gentleman the other day and he had made plans with a young lady who he knew he wasn't interested in. But because he did not want to hurt her feelings, he kept the plans and kept the plans and kept the plans. And then a few days before the plans were supposed to go on, he met someone else and then canceled them when he knew day one he really wasn't that interested, but didn't want to hurt her feelings. I don't want to do that to anybody. If I set something on Tuesday and I know by Tuesday night something's coming up, I'm going to tell you Tuesday night. Right? And it doesn't have to be, another person. It could just be, I know I can't do it. I'm not going to wait till Friday evening and say I can't meet with you on Saturday. That's just rude. You can see I feel some type of way, right? So, so those are the three things. Stay super, super, super authentic. And if a man he's real with you, you respect it. How can you not? Sean, I just don't feel you like that. I think you're more of a friend. Like I think that we may have more business to do together. I love your ministry call. Let's see what we can do with that. It might be disappointing, but I appreciate it. And then we can move on with peace and bridges that are not burnt. Okay. I think you got my point. And if you were still here, that means you made it to the absolute end of the webinar on how everything you need to know to divinely date, right? Fulfilling your purpose, allowing that purpose, that light, that shine to attract that gentleman who's aligned with it, and staying super authentic so that you can actually attract even more suitors into your life. If you have any questions for me, I want you to be very open and do what I would ask you to do in any dating relationship. Show your interest. I ain't say, pursue anything. I say show your interest. And the way you can show interest and learning more about how to divinely date is to go to my website, dreamsglobal.com, and then I'm going to put it into the chat right now. Dreams is spelled DREEAMMS global.com. And I want you to go to programs because you can set up a free consultation with me, and that will actually get you about 30 minutes to tell me what's going on in your life. What is happening with you that you feel like dating hasn't been successful? What is it that you're not finding the right people? Are they not treating you right? Are you not fulfilling your purpose? Do you not feel fulfilled, period? Do you have things you want to do? All of that we can talk about and is absolutely free. So go to dreamsglobal.com/programs and just let's speak. Let's talk about it. And I look forward to speaking with you. How do you get your free gift? At that same moment, all you have to do is sign up here. If you're like, I don't have 30 minutes, you just say, hey, but send me that checklist. I need that checklist. I need that checklist on the 5 things that single people do to keep them single. Yeah, I don't want to be that one. So tell me how to avoid it. I want you to go ahead and go to that same link. You can just type in there, Dreams Divine Dating checklist, and it will absolutely be sent to you. And here's my other free gift, because I told you I had something cool beyond the checklist. If you would like a free online audit, meaning you're on a dating site or you're not on a dating site yet, and you want to position yourself to be around the great gentlemen that I keep speaking about, but you're not finding the great men, you're only finding like the okie dokies. Well, let me audit your online profile. I would love to do that. Same thing. Go to dreamsglobal.com/programs and you will get a free online profile audit just for me. Why would I do all this? Because number one, I love it. Number two, I believe that great men and great women should find each other and not be on the other side of the wall where the great men are like, there's no great women out here. They're all crazy. And great women are like, where's the good men? I don't know any great men out there. They're all dogs. No, we have to stop that because it's not true. We need to find each other because marriages build communities, neighborhoods, states, cities, globally. It becomes worldwide. And we have many things to do. So once again, this is what I need you to do. Go to dreamsglobal.com/programs and sign up for a free consultation. We will be talking about your dating life, your purpose-driven life, what you need to do to actually find these gentlemen I'm talking about. You will also be able to just get the checklist if that's all you want. Or I can do an online audit for you on your online profiles to figure out maybe why the great ones aren't coming to, holler, or how you're missing that connection because maybe you're overlooking them, right? Any more questions that you may have, use the same link, and I look forward to speaking with you. I look forward to sharing those lists with you. I look forward to online profile auditing with you. Again, I'm Sharonda Dreams. I'm the Divine Dating Strategist here to help you fulfill your purpose as you date on purpose. You all have an excellent day and do it on purpose. Bye-bye.